Hey y'all, and if you are my replay gang, you can always fast forward this music and get straight to the show. But we're gonna let some people come on up in here. Now let's go.
Hey Joel, how you doing? Glad you came through. Welcome to the Sugar Love Show, where we have fun. Grab your friends and dance along. Join the party all night long. Love you for a ride. Buckle up, hold tight. We gonna ignite. Shake your body to the rhythm. Let the music take control. When the beat drops, you better lose control. We're making memories, create an unforgettable night. Forget about your worries. Let's spread the love and shine so bright. Welcome to the Sugar Love Show, where the energy is high. We're gonna dance the morning light. Feel the music. Hey Joel, how you doing? Glad you came through. Welcome to the Sugar Love Show, where we have fun. Grab your friends and dance along. Join the party all night long. Love you for a ride. Buckle up, hold tight. We gonna ignite. Shake your body to the rhythm. Let the music take control. When the beat drops, you better lose control. We're making memories, create an unforgettable night. Forget about your worries. Let's spread the love and shine so bright. Welcome to the Sugar Love Show, where the energy is high. We're gonna dance the morning light. Feel the music.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep 'em out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas.
wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on
This
display.
is war with the enemy. Think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me. I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the gas, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic. Got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Yeah.
Built to last with the
Hey, y'all. What is going on? Hey, Spice. Hey, Lakeisha. Hey, Miss Leo. Hey, Jack. I'm telling you, I don't know what the Wi-Fi going to be, right? Because it's like, boom, 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 boom. That lightning up there. I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know. I don't know. Let's just, hopefully you don't mess up the Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? So, I don't know what order we're going to go in because there's no particular order. There is no particular order that we're going in, but I just want to let it be known while we're still celebrating Juneteenth, right? While we're still celebrating Juneteenth, that there is no, it's a we thing. They're trying to make it seem like we know our place and it's a man thing. No, it's a we thing. It is not no you. You could not have progressed without us, right? So this is not to take away from the man, but we still have to add us up in there, right? And I'm still waiting for all these dates and times that they was talking about, right? So there's no particular altar, right? So, oh, that animated girl, that would be done by Bonnie Rose. And this from my guy Hezekiah. Let's go. After I cut the music off. Uh-oh. God.
Hi, we're visible.
Black Woman, brought to you in part by...
Hey, lady, what's Timber for? Power to make my hair do whatever I want.
But what's timber?
Timber calls the shots. It's the new liquid hair relaxer that makes my hair do what
Amber Liquid Hair Relaxer.
The works. Ambi conditions and softens your skin too. And Ambi
here, and I'd love to hear your responses. Dr. Marie Saunders is a psychoanalyst in private practice in New York, and she's also an assistant professor with City University. And in the middle, the man, and I can't wait to find out whether or not all those things are true, Dr. Alvin Poussant. He is a psychiatrist and based at Harvard Medical School, and you're also dean of students. Are Black men mean, pretentious, condescending, violence-prone?
Well, no, that's obviously a stereotype. Sounds like the leader of the Ku Klux Klan wrote that statement, but it could have been other people. I think that
it was a Black man responding to the play for colored girls, and he felt that the author was saying this by her statements.
Well, in that I think the author may have been saying that in that particular play. I think there've been a lot of problems between Black men and Black women. And it's kind of a feeling that Black men don't hold up or stand up to being men and so on. Well, I think, it's hard to generalize. I think that some do, some don't. But I think that Black men try to cope and survive because they've been pushed around and oppressed in a different way than Black women have been. See, the experiences have been a little bit different.
So you're suggesting then that the women sometimes are the brunt of these frustrations, but it's not necessarily deliberate.
Yeah, the Black woman may be the brunt of the frustrations, but also the Black man is the brunt of the frustrations of the Black woman. That doesn't go one way.
I think there's something else involved here. The Black man is a victim of a society. He's not so much the victim of the Black woman as he is a victim of an oppressive society. The society has put an awful onus upon him. And, they don't recognize him as a human being. And they haven't done anything for him since he's become a glut on the market. He can no longer pick cotton, so he can't even economically compete.
Do you think this has affected the mind, too, say, of the Black woman in the way she sees the Black man?
Well,
that
of course.
That she's been affected by conditioning of the society too that says a Black man
Okay, well, let's look at this.
I agree.
Now, in your practice, for example, I know it's unfair to generalize, but what's the picture of a Black man?
Well, unfortunately, most of these women grew up with the early movies where, they saw nothing but white men in movies, and these white men always came through in the end, did the right thing, married the girl, and they lived happily ever after. It's a kind of glamorized situation. So they grow up with the feeling that when they run into a Black man, this is what's going to happen to them, without realizing all the oppression that he's gone through.
Why can't a woman expect that to happen?
I think
because of where he's coming from.
See, one of the things is that, particularly in this society, is that a woman sees a man as a protector, someone who takes care of them financially and otherwise, right? Although that's changing. I think a Black woman was never really able to see the Black man in that kind of role because, in fact, the Black man could not protect them
or himself
in the system or protect himself. He was being lynched. Also, because of the whole employment situation and menial jobs, he frequently was not able to support.
Okay, now you're giving all the reasons why a situation might be such, but when you deal with a man in a one-to-one relationship, you may intellectually understand all the sociological explanations, but you're feeling pain.
Oh, yes.
Black eyes hurt, besides looking ugly, and women want to be romanced, and they want affection.
Well,
not that no woman ever gets it.
I mean, Black men, Black men do all of those things. I don't know. But if you're talking about some of the kind of frustration where the Black man is striking out, hitting, slapping, or abusing the Black woman, I would say that the Black man, too, is a victim of the values in the society, say, that elevated white women to a certain position and kept Black women down. So that they might be operating, seeing the Black woman, too, as more of a lowly kind of figure or person in the society, and then treating her with less respect. But I don't know.
Can a woman alter that? In other words, are there things that we can do as people, just as women, that bring out the kind of behavior in our man that we want to bring out?
Well, I think we're overlooking the Black mother who has had to protect her son from a pretty awful society. And he, with the same juices that all men have, has been confined within certain limits of his neighborhood or curfewed or what have you.
Now that's interesting. You said the mother, and
Yeah,
of course,
but see, he sees his mother as the restraining agent rather than the society itself from which she's protecting him.
Are you saying that a lot of black men go into relationships expecting that the wife be the one
It would be
to...
a continuation of the mother figure, so to speak.
Even though we already know he's not going to agree, but she is absolutely correct. And remember, this is 1977, right? So again, it's always been the single mother. Y'all was always raised by, it's always been the mother. You did not hear her mention. Now, to say everybody didn't have single mothers, I mean, everybody didn't have a 2-parent household, absolutely not. But it wasn't all the way common, because history shows that it was not always common for 2-family households. We have seen that time and time and time and time again, right? So, but what she said is absolutely correct, and that is still a problem we have today. They go off on the one who stayed and make it seem like mama is supposed to be perfect, right? You know, they may be mad papa left, but mama supposed to been perfect. Mama did the protecting, the providing, the nurturing. Like, we did 2 jobs in one. And on top of that, we had to be an individual at the same time. We had to be an individual. We had to be a woman. We had to be a lady, right? We needed some time to ourselves too, right? We needed identity for ourselves. And we were still learning and growing and learning and growing. You know, I don't understand how adults, you know, they want to talk about their childhood, which nothing is wrong with that. But somewhere down the line, you're not perfect. You're not the perfect parent neither, because your kids going to talk about you too. Regardless of what you do, they forget to give mama grace. Yes, mama needed time to get to know herself. You know, I think, well, we'll see. I don't know if I showed it, but some of them, they done had their kids. Well, I don't know which, like I said, there's no particular order, right? But so guess what? Mama made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. Not because she wasn't a good mama. She was still growing too. She probably had you in her 20s, her teens, or her 20s. She's still a kid herself. You got a whole responsibility here, right? And then you already starting off with no money, right? You're starting off with no money. Now, how do I get money? If the man stays, he's starting off with no money too. So it's 2 broke people. It's 2 broke people now starting off with a kid. So either 2 of them going to make mistakes, or the mama is going to make the mistakes. And we're still being crucified. Women are still being crucified for that today. Nobody never sits back and go, wow, that's a hard ass job. My mama had the man, my mama had this. I mean, we know a lot of stuff she did was wrong. A lot of stuff you're going to do is wrong too, right? But what she said was absolutely correct, right? But of course, I guarantee you he's not going to agree, because again, as from what we seen yesterday, they have to keep proving their manhood, right? They have to. Their manhood was taken from them because, as you see, they were called a woman castrated. all these other things. Even till today, they have to keep proving their manhood. I get it. I get it. So while they out on this journey, still to prove their manhood, we're still stuck with the kids. And then even when slavery and stuff lightened up, it's in their DNA. It's in their DNA. They didn't understand if they would have stayed around and raised their sons, it would have started taking it out of their DNA. But the minute you leave that I have to be a man now in their DNA, right? But we're talking about a group of people, again, we just kept moving. All we do is keep moving. We keep moving. We never stopped. We didn't have no time to stop to heal. Hopefully, these videos is just about us healing as a people. Even if y'all don't like us, you do like us, man, get along. It doesn't even matter anymore. Take time and heal yourself, even though people around us are still going to be sick. But at least you'll feel good, right? At least you'll see all the barriers that was put there. At least you will understand how how women became 304, as they will call 304s today. You will see how the oppressor ancestors did that to our foregrandmothers, our foremothers, and now they're doing it to their kids, and now their grandkids, and now their grandkids. The women are not overly sexualized. It's their forefathers that keeps us overly sexualized, right? It I hate to say it, you see what happens. It brings in money, right?
And he's angry with black women in general because the first black woman he knows is his mother, and all she's been trying to do is
the one
it would be a continuation of the mother figure, so to speak.
She's a doctor.
And he's angry with black women in general because the first black woman he knows is his mother, and all she's been trying to do is to keep him from doing something stupid so he doesn't get lynched. But he sees it as a form of confinement. So when he marries a woman, or when he even considers marrying, or even for that matter, just being with a black woman, he sees it as some kind of a burden that's going to restrain him, that's not going to allow him his freedom. He doesn't see her, what she has done, as a means to save his life in many cases.
That's a theory I don't quite agree with. I mean, the fact that somehow black boys and black children, particularly male children, are seeing their mothers as primarily restraining, harsh agents, punishing them, and then grow up to see all black women as somehow, people are going to do them harm or restrain them or keep them down. I know that I think that has some significance, but I don't think it's the main thing.
Well, what is the main thing?
Operating. I think the main thing operating is that black men have had a hard time getting manhood in this society on any level.
But is manhood given to you externally?
No.
Can't you?
Well, particularly
claim
not
it?
to the black man. No.
You can't.
Not
claim it.
economically, they can't. Not in this society. Not now.
Well, then what are we saying?
Psychologically.
Let's pack up our bags, ladies, and leave the country.
No, black men are getting it.
But it's very gradual, and it's not given as a token to everyone.
But
they have to struggle like crazy to get
But is it all money and is it all finance?
Well, it's a lot of it.
A lot of it. But I'm thinking very personally now. My grandfather was a carpenter. He was a marvelous.
Now, actually, it's really not the money. It's when you've been called boy for so long. Hey, boy. And these are coming from probably teenager. You're a grown-ass man. Still keep calling boy. When you go to work, you still keep calling boy. What's up, Mimi? You're still being called boy. Right? That is a lot for men to adjust with. And like I said, it's in the DNA. They don't understand that they don't have to do that anymore. You are a man. And we, the women, your counterparts, like I say, it's a we thing. We never took that from you. We've never taken, we had no power. Hey, Trey. Right? We never took, it's a we thing. I'm tired of them making it a man thing or a woman thing. Nah, baby, we in this struggle together. And a lot of, like me, even with the behavior, being that I understand what happened to my black man, I don't blame him. Right? I don't blame him for a lot of things that he do. Just like I don't blame the women for a lot of the bad behavior neither. Because if you go back to history, it was taught to us. It was ingrained in us. We never had time to digest it and flush it down the toilet bowl. You had some women, you had some of them, good luck. You had a handful that were able to make it, but they never came back for the ones who didn't make it. And it's in our DNA. These men have to stop saying, I'm a man, because you are a man. You ain't got to keep telling the whole world. The minute you stop saying you are a man, you ain't got to tell, I'm a man. Who did you talking to? I'm a man. I'm the man. I'm the head of the household. No, you're proving it to the wrong people. Just be you. Just be the man you are. You don't have to keep saying it, because the more you keep saying it, regardless if you're just saying it to the black woman all day, you're showing that it's still in your DNA and you're not healed. You just don't know why you keep saying it, because it's in your DNA. They stripped you from your manhood. They emasculated you, your forefathers. So all you hear even when they was marching, what's the first thing I am a man. I am a man. The more you keep saying that, you're showing that you're not healed. Right? You don't hear no other races that keep telling you every 5 minutes they are man, they are man, they are man, they are man. I get it. And us women we got to give each other grace, right? We have to give each other grace. But we don't know how to do that, because they taught you that a woman's supposed to have a role. Black women ain't never had no role. We never had a role. If that man was able to secure a job, that was a break on a woman to be married, and to raise her kids. That was a beautiful thing. And it wasn't like a role thing. It was like, wow, we can finally just be man and wife, and nobody's going to take you away in the middle of the night. Nobody's going to take me. A lot of them, come on, they didn't know what that felt like. We didn't have a family structure. They took our family structure away. It was gone. So we're trying to invent a fake family structure that did not exist. Yeah, people were married, but it wasn't out of love and it wasn't out of money. You were forced to get married. Two broke people were forced to get married, or a young girl had to marry an old ass man. But we act like we want to fix the black community. No, fix yourself first, right? Women, they sexualize you forever. Stop being sexualized, right? Can't no man tell you, they can call you whatever they want to call. Don't pay them no mind. You should want to say, hey, TJ, you too, sis. We have to, again, stop sexualizing ourselves, right? You have no business on these places like a Fresh and Prince, Fresh and Fish, whatever the hell their names is. You have no business on these shows where you are going to be disrespected. You have no business on these places that's going to call your type of bitches and hoes, and you have to wear this and you have to wear that and be disrespected. Fresh and Fish. I can't stay here. Fresh and Fish. I ain't mean to say, well, damn it, that's their new name, Fresh and Fish. Y'all know what I meant, but I don't care, right? And then women, you know, we could be a little bit more nicer to the men, right? You know, they that's like me. I respect all men until you come at me, right? Until you come at me, it's a wrap, right? But we could be a little bit more nicer, right? We could treat them with a little bit more care, right? I'm not going to say we're angry, but again, that's in our DNA. That's in our DNA, right? Right. I called it Fresh and Fish, right? It's okay. But if we take away everything that was put in our way, right? Like I said, men, you don't have to all day. I'm a man. I'm a man. Who you talking to? I'm a man. That means that you're still proving you're a man. You got to keep saying it. You don't have to say it, right? Yo, why do some men go about their business? They get a lot of respect. They ain't never said I'm a man because you can see it. You see it and you know it. What rose? I got and tried that rose. I was like, no. Setting the obvious. Yeah, setting the obvious. It's like women. You've been sexualized all through. That's all they did was sexualize you, sexualize you, sexualize you. It's to the point that you think is the correct thing to do, right? You don't even know why. You have no idea why you stand there, you get disrespected. They tell you to line up, you line up. They tell you to put your boobs out, you put your boobs out. They tell you to get on the floor and drop it. You have no idea. Why do you do that? You have no idea. You have no idea why you do that. It's in your DNA. So we got a bunch of men that's not men, with a bunch of women that's over sexualized. And they make a lot of money off that though. They make a lot of money off of that. Right? Make a lot of money off of that. Well, let's go.
Marvelous carpenter. Because of discrimination, he could not join the union.
Mm-hmm.
But he was an incredibly industrious man. I absolutely adored him. And now that I don't have him anymore, I recognize his genius in so many respects. He was considerate, affectionate, non-brutal.
Oh, yes.
Now, so obviously individuals can influence their behavior. Now, don't a lot of men, because of all of these explanations that the doctors give, rationalize just in consideration?
Well,
in other words,
well,
everybody's looking for a punching bag, and if you're told punch away because
at
we
your
know
mother, at
society
society
is
and
very
what
hard
have
on
you.
you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, someone can they can do that. Yeah,
Sure
and they use it that way, and sometimes they can manipulate women, or by using arguments about their manhood, or they accuse the black woman of being castrating, quote, that the black woman is somehow.
Are we castrating and matriarchal?
I don't think so.
I don't
What do
think
you
so
think?
either. Not really.
But these
It
myths.
depends what you're sensitive to.
I think it has something to do with the fact that women are looking to lean upon their man, and there are, of course, instances where he does not wish to be leaned upon, and she finds out she has to pick up the reins in the absence of no one picking them up. She therefore becomes, at least to him, some type of matriarch. In other words, sometimes he manipulates a woman into the position where she has to be bitchy, if you want to use that term, and he then can reinforce his own theory that she's that way anyway. But he does something. The source is that he commits something or he does something that puts her in that position. This is not always true, but it is true in a lot of instances. If she can understand in advance that he has a need to do this, she can ward it off or avoid it or get out of the line of fire.
How?
Well, she first must be able to understand it, and she must therefore be able to understand herself. And that's the first thing she has to learn how to do.
Now, what must she understand about herself?
I think understand things about herself and what's going on with the man, in a sense that a lot of men in this society in general, white men, black men, get their definition of being a man from women, how women relate to them.
That's true.
And a lot of it is sexist. That is, what women do. So that if you've been hearing all your life that the way you're a man is to be like John Wayne, or the way you're a man is for a woman to be very dependent and obedient with you, and then you run into a black woman.
Is this why so many black men these days are pointing out that women of all colors who may not necessarily be black are still soul sisters, and therefore this justification for ignoring black women?
Soul sisters?
Because of the obedience, of the different cultural upbringing?
It's clear to me that frequently black men have complained that they have felt that the black woman is too strong or not dependent, don't seem to need them as much.
But if what you say is so, doctor, it says to me that if a black man who does have these problems looks at a black woman, he is then reminded of his problem, and maybe the problem can't go away. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a second.
Now, how are you in 1977 and you're calling the same women that went through everything with you? How do you call the same women strong? You're too strong, right? After we got sprayed with hoses, houses bombed, fire, children taken. After everything we went through, you said black women are too strong in a negative way. In a negative way. Like where you do that at? And remember, to 2024, they're repeating the same conversation. I don't know. I'm sick of these conversations, actually. Like, I want some, I would really like to have, like, some good relationship type of talks, right? If somebody got a good relationship and a man and a woman can come on the show, I would love to show more of that, right? I would love to show more of that. I would love to show more of that. More positivity. This war we ain't gonna be able to control. All I can say is women, let them say what they want to say. But I'm still gonna get them two videos together. When that mammy ass Crimson Tide, when she sit up there and said the same thing the slave master said, they said exactly the same thing, and they want us to respect her. See, I don't do grooming. That's grooming talk.
Because picking up on that point, if a man, for whatever reason, sees his blackness as a burden, something he's carrying around on his shoulder, and he can't be everything that he wants to be, how can he really look into the eyes of a black woman that reminds him totally of everything that's holding him back and say, I think you're beautiful, I really love you, and mean it, really?
Well, I don't think the whole thing's total. That is, black men vary. There's some more concerned about their manhood and self-esteem than others. I mean, if we take one statistic that you're not going to believe, a lot of people, that is that about 98 or 97% of black men who are married to black women.
Yes,
okay?
Are married.
Are
right.
married
Okay.
to black women.
Okay.
And tend to be attracted to them. I'm just, in general, that's the thrust of their attraction.
When are those dates?
When are those? You mean
From those statistics.
I mean, you can't testify to that.
No.
Well,
No.
well, that is.
Now, in 1977, this man said, this man said in 1977, he said 98% of black men are married to black women. This lady said, where are the dates? Where are the dates? She wanted some data. She wanted the data, right? As in, how many are you talking about? Because if you're speaking upon 100 black men out of 1 million, of course, if only 100 took the survey and you say 99%, that's nothing. That lady shook. She said, where are the dates? This is 1977. So obviously, again, this traditional wife, as you see, ain't existing. Girlfriend said, show me the dates. Where are the dates? She wants some receipts. He said, show me the receipts, damn it. This 1977. So y'all sitting around here in 2024 listening to all this stupidness that they're talking about the traditional wife. And here we is in 1977. And this lady said, show me the receipts, right? Okay.
Is true. Those statistics are current. So that black men are marrying black women.
They're also marrying white women.
Yeah, they are marrying white women.
Aren't those statistics increasing?
It's still a small percentage, though. I would say it moved in about the past 10 years from about 2% of black men to 3%.
Now, maybe it's so noticeable because of our society. So many men, one, you tend not to think of a husband being suitable if he's perennially unemployed, because you think of support, drugs, other problems, prisons. So we're reducing the number of available men.
That's true.
So,
Available black men.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The other thing is,
same thing in 2024. Y'all are reduced. And there's some other added stuff in there too. What makes the men reduced? But let's go.
is they're black women, who don't want to marry black men. I mean, it's always kind of implied that it's black men running away from black women. But I know a lot of black women who even will want to have children, but not want to have a man that is around.
Do you really
or they
see this
see
a
the
lot,
black
Doctor?
man as a burden. And this is
They see a black. Why would a woman in 1977, right? In 1977, want to see a black man as a burden? If he was always the provider, and they made up their mind, which means this 1977, that means this been going on for a while. This must have been going on since the 70s and the 60s, that the women in 1977 said, hey, these black men are a burden. We keep acting like these conversations do not exist, right? They existed then, right? They existed then. Why would, if we were so traditional, right? Now, at that time in 1977, I'm around. So there were not too many married people, which we know. There were not too many two-father households. I can contest to that, right? But I'm still young. So if they older than me and they said the black man is a burden, again, I understand why they are burdened, because they're still chasing their manhood. right? They're still chasing their manhood that they think that we are supposed to give it to them. But we, the Black woman, never took it from them, right? And then all the things that have happened that the Black woman witnessed that the Black man could not do, for some reason, I think that they think that we hold it against them, right? They would think that we would never see them as protectors because when we needed protection, they could not protect us. But that is far from the truth because Black women still was holding y'all down, right? Still was holding you down. Tell you, it's a we thing.
It's frequently true in some of the lower
Have you
income
ever
groups.
personally encountered that? I know you're
Encountered
happily
that?
married now, but I
But
mean before.
Before,
Mhm.
I would say that sometimes I've met Black women who have been very rejecting of me as a Black male. Sure. I've met
Now
Black
you're a
women
Harvard
who have been
professor,
more into the
you're an
right thing than
MD,
any
a
Black male I've
psychiatrist.
known.
What more could they want? You're beautiful to look at.
Oh, that's nice.
No, seriously.
No, but because you can run into Black women with some of the same kinds of severe hangups.
Does it go
that a
back to
Black
liking
male
yourself, being able to reproduce yourself?
has. In
I'm not
part,
sure many people are secure enough in being able to do that.
Yeah. See, there's lots of things that sometimes, you can get very light-skinned people who really want to reproduce browner children. See, they don't necessarily gravitate toward white. I'm sure people like that. But what I'm saying is just that the problem is on both sides, for the Black man and for the Black woman. The Black man, because they can be more aggressive in society, ask out who they want to date and so on.
But I think he's
there's a dual
overlooking
problem.
one thing, and that is if you're going to do it statistically in a relevant state, there are more Black men in any state in this union who are marrying white women than the reverse being true.
Oh, that's true.
Well, then your statistics distorted the picture somewhat.
Well, the
by
statistics
saying,
have
Not
maybe
really.
something to do with the way
No
Black
matter-
women might feel, but they're not marrying white men at the kind of rate that Black men
Well,
are
maybe the
marrying
white
white
man
women.
maybe the white man ain't asking.
Well, that's what it
But
is.
that
There's
doesn't
no
mean
doubt
that
about it.
They don't want to marry them.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now, what I'm noticing, though, if you take, for example, couples that have been married 20, 25 years, and we're seeing more divorces. Very frequently, professional Black men, the second time around, seem to marry, now this, of course, is a generalization, but they seem to be marrying younger white women to start their second families. Now, why is this?
I don't know if that's true, but go ahead. I mean,
I
have
think
no data on it.
statistically it is true, and I think it has something to do with the fact when he first started out, he needed a helpmate. There had to be somebody there that was going to get him through school and, whatever it was that he was doing before he, arose to the position that he has gotten. Also, considering that he's usually probably in his 40s by the time he does this, a white woman was prohibited to him at the time that he started out, which has to be 20, 25 years ago. So now he's in a position, not only, plus Black men are extremely attractive to white women, wherever you go. And of course, I have to throw this in, and that is that the white woman who marries a Black man is not into female liberation. The Black women are not into it anyway, generally speaking, because they realize that their own men haven't been liberated. And so they have to wait until he has, risen on the economic scale on some type of par with the Black men.
But
the
then-
white women are not into female
But
labor.
maybe not general liberation, but what about sexual liberation?
Black women are less into it than white women. They're still very puritanical, generally speaking, because part of white female liberation deals with this total sexual liberation.
Well, when any affair, when a marriage is over, and I know you wanted to get in, how do you cope with it being over? I mean, you've been married, whether it's 10 years, 5 years, 20 years. An important part of your life has just been cut out.
Well, I think it's very hard to cope. I would say before I get in we're saying things about Black men and white women, and it goes back and forth. I don't know if even the things that we say are statistically correct and necessarily correct about what's happening.
Well,
back
I'll
then.
say this.
But
I'll say this,
that's all. I
Doctor.
get-
Whether
be
they're
careful.
absolutely statistically correct or not, I know it's the way Black women think, and it's the way they feel, and the observations that they're making.
We can't cast either the fact that Black men, say, marry white women or the reverse, that it's necessarily a problem. See, we're talking about it as if it's a problem.
Oh, to the Black woman who is looking for a man.
It is, because she doesn't have that many Black men to choose from, because he's been decimated, as she said, by alcohol, drugs, imprisonment, and there are fewer Black eligible males to get to. Now, we don't need to give them away to the white ladies. That's the way Black women feel.
The doctor has articulated
a pathology or something in the Black male, say, if he, but see, like it's pathology or bad for the Black male to do it, but that the Black woman, when she marries a white man, people don't think of her as being pathological.
I don't think it's pathological that they do it.
It kind of has a connotation that somehow the Black man
I don't believe it's pathological.
Or hasn't found himself or doesn't know himself.
No, I know of mixed marriages that are quite happy and have been for 10 or 15 years and continue to be. I don't believe it's pathological.
Because there's psychiatrists around, who will say that any interracial couple is sick.
Oh, no, I don't believe that.
Them as
I don't
believe that. I don't think we're not going that far afield.
When do we need you? When do we need to go to you? In other words, if you're in a relationship, what kinds of problems should we have?
Well, you were talking about coping before, breaking up with an affair or relationship more. And I would say that's very similar to someone dying on you.
Sure it is. That's a part of you that's gone.
It's a loss.
It's tremendous sense of loss.
You get depressed and you have to go through a period of what we call grief.
Is a woman too old-fashioned if she can't cope with living with somebody, which seems to be the trend that's taking over like a disease?
I don't like the term old-fashioned. I think it's so highly individualistic. You have to probe your own depths to find out, would you be comfortable in that kind of situation? And if you would be comfortable with it and it's not going to chafe you, and it's the only way you can be with this man, and that's what you really want to do, you weigh it and say, which do I want the most? Do I want to be with this man despite the small amount of discomfort I'm going to have, or it's going to be so much discomfort that I'd rather give up the man? You can't generalize a thing like
You're talking about a very practical psychology, which says, I believe I'd rather be with you in your world than without you in mine. Is that how the song goes? We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
I agree.
Get ready to
that people marry for fairly crazy reasons: sex, money, good looks.
Those sound fabulous to me. I don't know.
It sounds fabulous to me, but it's only a part of the fabric, you know that. And but the real thing that most people want is to be themselves and to fulfill themselves, and they need to meet a partner or a mate that is willing to go along with their program as well as they are willing to go along with the partners.
And maybe we're going to reach a point where marriage can't be forever, where people can go through stages.
Serial monogamy.
That's right.
But women don't really have to tolerate all of this abuse and this nonsense. This is what's concerning me so deeply, that people have such low opinions of themselves. Look, you can always walk. You can always walk. It might be more difficult.
But that's not a way to go into marriage.
Women have the burden of marriage's breakup of the children. And I think that is an important key factor that makes it much more difficult for her.
It does.
To have new relationships a whole bit. So she
Thank you so much. I'll have to come back another time.
Okay.
Okay. Please write, because I would like your reaction to this. I believe very, very strongly in any kind of relationship, you only should tolerate that which you want to tolerate. Alice Travis, for you, Black woman, FDR station, Post Office Box 5080, New York, New York.
Again, same conversations. But do you notice it's the same conversation, but they speak with a level of respect, right? You notice they speak with a level of respect, unlike how they do now, right? It's the same differences, same problems. Even though that lady kept cutting everybody off, but I do get it. Her time is limited. She tried to get in much as she could get in. But the respect, even when you watch a lot, it's the same complaint. Oh, I gotta be a man. Women gotta be a man. And it's the same complaints. I don't want to be traditional, right? I don't want to be traditional. They've been saying this forever. So I'm trying to figure out where does a traditional, but they speak to each other, unlike today, with a level of respect, which we don't do. Like, we don't know how to agree to disagree now because all of the money that they make from the disrespect of a black woman, even then, that man was like, I don't really agree with that all the way, but I still see something. See, that's when you know it wasn't a agenda. I agree with some of the parts, but not all the parts, right? That's respect. See, we could still have them conversations today. We can have them but there's no money in that. There's no money unless you're calling a female a B or having her coming there just to embarrass her, or vice versa with a woman talking about the man. And everybody like, yeah, forget them men. Lord, the men is terrible. Even though they were saying the same things. But it was still a level of respect that when they was talking, we had for each other, which is we don't have that now, right? You would not hear like Anton and Fashion Fish, and you would not hear that. They have no respect for us now, right? Women were promiscuous then. And as you hear, women couldn't trust men then. It's always been the same conversation, same problem, but look at the difference of the respect they have talking to each other, right?
Good morning and welcome to Bay Sunday. I'm Barbara Rogers. Many people think that we lost the war on poverty. It would probably be more accurate to say we lost some major battles, but the war is still going on. This morning, we'll tell you about one program that has been fighting that war and winning for 25 years. That program is the Job Corps. Today, we'll meet some people involved with it, and that we turn our attention to one of this week's biggest stories, the death of Black Panthers co-founder Huey Newton. Today, some of the people who were formerly involved with the Black Panthers will be here to talk about what it was like in those early days. But first, here's a background profile on Huey Newton from Liz Gonzalez.
In the mid-60s, at so-called Liberation School supported by the Black Panther Party, he was a revolutionary hero.
Huey P. Newton! And where's Huey? In jail!
Newton spent a lot of time in jail. To the police, he was a dangerous thug. In 1967, he was convicted of killing an Oakland police officer, but 2 retrials later ended with hung juries. In 1974, he fled to Cuba to escape prosecution for killing a prostitute. Then last March, he was accused of embezzling state funds. Today, Charles Gary insists Newton was a victim, not a villain.
The FBI killed him. When I say killed him, I don't mean to put a gun to his head. They destroyed him as a person, where he became a paranoid, sick person. It's a wonder that he was still alive.
Huey Newton helped shape the Black Panther Party, but he also shared in its demise. While Newton was charged with various crimes, including murder and assault, the party was losing power and membership. Eldridge Cleaver, who himself was purged from the radical group, refused to comment on Newton's death. Johnny Spain, however, said he was not surprised to hear of Newton's demise.
I think on the one hand, Huey did a lot to illustrate some of the ills of our society. On the other hand, I think personally, the pressure that came to bear on him for that very effort might have lent itself to destroying him.
Years ago, Newton was asked how he wanted people to remember him.
Well, I would like to think of him as a person who's very loved.
But just as people have debated over the effectiveness of the Black Panther Party, so will they debate the life of Huey Newton. Liz Gonzalez, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Joining me now are three women who were involved with the Black Panthers and who all once worked with Huey Newton. They are San Francisco State University lecturer Angela Davis, Concordia High School principal Erica Huggins, and managing editor and director of Black Scholar magazine, Jonina Abram. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
This has got to be, I suppose, for you, all three of you, a very sad week because of what happened to Huey. No matter what had happened in the years intervening, I'm sure that all of you still had a special feeling for him from having worked with him in the early days. Tell me, how did you each become involved with the Black Panther Party? Angela, let's start with you.
Well, first of all, during the late 60s, when I was studying in Europe, I learned about the emergence of the Black Panther Party and was profoundly affected by that. As a matter of fact, I decided to cut short my studies in Europe and return to this country in order to become involved in the Black liberation movement of that period. I worked with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, which during that period entered into an alliance with the Black Panther Party. Erica and I worked together in Los Angeles in 1967, 68.
Many people would think that those two would not fit together, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and the Black Panther Party, which came to have an image that many people associated with violence. How did those two work together?
Well, during that period, both SNCC and the Black Panther Party were responsible for ushering the Black movement into a new era, I think, and it was especially the role that Huey and Bobby and others played in establishing a new stance, a stance of resistance. And all of us, who knows how many hundreds of thousands of young Black people across this country were affected by that new militant stance that was assumed by the brothers and the sisters who went in the community and who said, we will no longer allow the police to brutalize us. We will stand up with dignity.
We're going to come back in a minute to talking about that, the climate at that time and how this came to be. But Erica, how did you become involved?
I was a junior at Lincoln University, and I was 18 years old. And I read a Ramparts magazine article in which Huey was pictured strapped to a hospital gurney with a policeman standing over him laughing. Huey had a stomach wound, a gunshot wound in his stomach. And on the day when I read that article, I wondered what I was doing in college, and why wasn't I out there supporting him and supporting Black people? And so within a week, my friend and I, John Huggins and I, who later became my husband and was later killed by the FBI at UCLA in 1969, drove across country to aid in freeing Huey Newton. We joined the party shortly after we got to Los Angeles, and I worked with it from that time until 1981.
Now, the FBI does not agree that they killed your husband. I suppose the official statement has always been that he was killed by a rival group.
Their official statement was that they engendered the interactions that caused the murder, but that they did not pull the trigger. There's a document that states this.
Now, Jonina, how about you? How did you become involved with the Black Panthers?
I joined the party, I guess you would say, in the sort of middle period in Detroit, Michigan in 1972. I married a man who had joined the party, and both of us for a long time had talked about the importance of being in an organization that was fighting for Black people's freedom and that we needed to be in an organization. And so I got
Now, she said she married a man that was part of the organization, and she went with her husband. I didn't hear him say, stay home. I keep telling you, there is no you without us. I don't care how, just like there is no us without you. It's a we thing. It is a we thing. It's a we thing. You could not have gotten to where you are without us. Even though a lot of our trials and tribulations, you could not have helped us, but you did not have the power to help us. But we always found a way to help you. We always found a way to make a concoction. So if you got whipped, we put it on you. Like, they found ways to go in the kitchen and take a piece of cornbread and bring you the cornbread. We always found ways to take care of the black man. But we also knew the situation that he was in. We always. History does not lie. I don't know this bullcrap they're talking today, but they know for a fact they would not be, if it wasn't for the mothers taking care of you, rather it was tumultuous, rather she didn't know what she was doing, rather she was, remember, a lot of y'all mamas, not in these days, but probably our parents or probably our great parents or whatever, they had their first kid like 12 years old. What did you expect from a 12-year-old mother? If you look at your 12-year-old right now, you ain't thinking about being no grandma. You ain't thinking about your 12-year-old with no boyfriend, no nothing. You thinking about your 12-year-old living, going to junior high school and doing junior high school things. They was 12 and 13 with a mother. And then baby after baby after baby after baby. So you had children bearing children. But they still did just enough to keep you alive, right? They did just enough. You may were hungry some nights, but they did just enough that we have a population that we have today, right? But they don't want to give you credit for nothing. We're not going to say women stayed home and was a traditional life. We never really had a real point in time when we could be traditional. It wasn't enough money where the man could just go there and work. You know, you had some, God bless, that were able to, as you see, that's 1977. All three of them people that was talking in the video prior were doctors. But a lot of us women, we went down with our men. We went down with our men. That's why they got three ladies. They ain't got no men there. They got three women there sitting there talking. That's why I don't tolerate the disrespect. That's why I don't disrespect and I don't tolerate the disrespect. I don't do debates. I don't, like, I'll talk about it. I may review it and commentary on it, but I'm not going back and forth. Let's stop acting like we don't know. If you don't know the black woman was always there and we was your ride or ride, I don't know what more to tell you. We're in 2024. You can, okay, we know you men already. God damn, we know you the man. You the man. You the man. Stop saying that. You still searching for it. We never took that from you. Because our mouth's too big. Now it was that whip on your ass. That's what took it from you. Our mouths ain't had nothing to do with that.
Involved in Detroit, Michigan.
Now, as all three of you look back at what has happened, look at it now through the sort of the periscope of history, do you think that the way it was done was the only way it could have been done, or could you have done things differently? How do you view it now in retrospect?
Well, of course, with historical hindsight, we can say that there are all kinds of things that we would have done differently. But then we did not know what we know now. I think that the legacy of Huey Newton is that he sensed what the sentiment of especially young Black people must have been at a critical moment in the evolution of the civil rights movement, and to understand that there was a historical need to bring forth a new posture was, I think, quite brilliant. And of course, there were many mistakes that were made. Tracts have been written analyzing the mistakes, but there can be no doubt about the fact that we would not be where we are today had not that moment been seized by those who understood what I would call the historical necessities.
Part of the manifesto of the Black Panther Party said that, and I don't know if this is an exact quote, but that it would give Black people the power to control their own destiny. Mm-hmm. Erica, do you feel that it did that? And how do you look at that now in terms of what's happening in Black communities?
Harriet Tubman once said that he is not a slave who strikes a blow for freedom. And I've never forgotten that. And what I feel about all of what we did was that we allowed for people to raise their consciousness, their understanding of themselves. And in a way, that understanding was a surface understanding, but the language changed. The way that Black people carried themselves changed. What I felt was that something transforming was happening in the hearts and minds of people. Whenever change is occurring, it doesn't taste good. It's not necessarily pleasant, but in effect, the result is quite wonderful. I would say also that things are similar today. Those things are similar that were happening then. Mm-hmm. But I also have to say that I know because of the Black Panther Party, not only did my life change, but my mother's life changed, my sister's life, my brother's life. All of the people that I knew, whether I knew them well or not, their lives changed dramatically because a stand was being made. We were saying, yes, there was an Emancipation Proclamation, but it was a piece of paper. Now we have to really become free of those bonds. And we're willing and courageous enough to do it. And Huey was very, very courageous man.
Do you think that courage and the benefits that it gave to you and, like you say, in your mother's generation and many other young Blacks and older Blacks was wiped out somewhat in these last few years because of the kinds of negative publicity that Huey got? Did that counter it, in other words? Or do you think that legacy will continue?
I think that the legacy will live on in the hearts and minds of people as long as there are people. We all have our demons to fight, you and I as well. And so to say that because people battle their demons, history changes, history should be changed, and perhaps a piece of history is lost isn't true. What this week brought up for me were all kinds of wonderful memories of things that changed because of the courage of two men, one of them being Huey Newton. And it created in me a new courage and new strength. It took a lot for me to leave school and travel across the country and literally put my life at the hands of people who weren't so happy that I existed. So
now that brings up another point. You said it took courage for you. Do you think something like this could happen today, Janina? Maybe all of you could just very quickly tell me your feelings on that. Looking at what's going on in Black communities today, do you think something like this could happen? And is something like this needed again, like the Black Panther Party?
Well, the party, the way the party was and the way it was organized, it developed at a particular point in history, and it responded to a particular need, as Angela pointed out. I think if we have something else like it in the future, it won't be exactly like that, because we cannot go back to 1966. We cannot recreate that moment in history. But if the people see that there and feel that there is a need for something like that, similar to it, people will create it. I mean, Bobby and Huey did it because they saw the need. If we see the need again, I think that it will happen.
Yeah, and I think that given the setbacks that we've experienced, the recomposition of the Supreme Court, the assault on all of the victories that we've won over the last 3 decades or so, it's very clear that we do need to revitalize our mass movements. The Black Panther Party was a mass movement. It attracted young people all over this country. We do need, as I totally agree with Jonina, it cannot be the same because we have transcended that moment in history. But we really need to regenerate our mass movements. And I would also like to say that oftentimes people speak as if there was that movement in the late 60s and the early 70s and it died and nothing occurred during the intervening period. But I see what's happening now as a part of a continuum. If we look at people like Ron Dellums and the role that he's playing in Congress, Ron Dellums developed during the early stages of his career as a person who defended the Black Panther Party in Oakland. Bobby Rush, who was one of the leaders of the Black Panther Party, is a council person in Chicago. So I think that we need to recognize that we are still a part of an evolving pattern that was initiated during the 60s by the Black Panther Party, by Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, and others.
When Angela was talking, that brought to mind, you're talking about a continuum, and Angela and I are both involved in the National Black Women's Health Project. One of the points of the Black Panther Party program was we demand decent health care for Black people. And I see my own involvement in the Black Women's Health Project as, part of that continuum. I'm still, in my own way, trying to work on that particular part of the problem.
Well, thank you all three. I must apologize. Somehow I got a tickle in my throat there and I couldn't stop it. Thank you all three for being with me.
Now, I keep telling you guys, right? They would not let history repeat itself. The same way we saw them kids in 1963 change a whole dynamic, right? They changed kids. They said it would never happen again. It would never happen again. And up until today, we have not seen, and these kids was in public school, junior high school, and high school in the Jim Crow era. These kids got together when adults could not stand up. And when they asked when Martin Luther King was like, I may have to go to jail, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Remember, he's fairly new. He's not the big old Martin Luther King. He's the regular old Martin Luther King. The first person who stand up was a young girl. Because we was about our people. And then more girls stood up. Then, next thing you know, everybody stood up. They were the ones that was getting blasted by the water, had the dogs on them, thrown in jail. A bunch of kids. So they made sure, okay, let's get these drugs pumping, right? They turned kids from revolutionaries to drug dealers, right? They made sure our entertainers kept them entertained as of today, right? They know they put these people in order to have a gender war to make sure we cannot unite. And we're always bickering, trying to figure out what's traditional and what's not traditional, what's modern. These things don't exist. These people were put here so we don't never get together again and say, hey, we want better. So every time something was done, every time we did something, they put something else in place to make sure that don't happen again. Then we put something else together. We're going to make sure that doesn't happen again. Then they put the infiltrators in there, right? Here come the infiltrators. As of today, they want to keep casting the Black woman in a bad light when we were the one holding it down. But if we keep the Black woman down, how is the Black man is to rise? You cannot rise by yourself. Because of all the things that happened to us and being left with them babies and having to make decisions without a man around, that made us powerful people. They don't want the Black woman powerful, but us being powerful benefited the man also because we are down with you. So every time you watch a Crimson Core talk about the feminine energy, we were still feminine. Women were still having babies back then. They didn't stop getting married and stop having babies because they wasn't smelling like perfume and all feminine and use feminine this. We didn't have no time for that. People was up in there fighting together and falling in love. Men say, you want to be with me? You got to be down with the cause. You got to be down with the cause. This is what we got to do. They work together. So they sent people like Marlon and the rest of them, the angry man. They sent them women out there. And this is why we ain't never been looking for no damn husband. If we got one, we got one. The man wasn't looking for a wife just like that. If he got one, he got one. We was trying to catch up to the rest of the world. Us being married was not the top priority. We wanted to know what it felt like. So a lot of us got married to our forefathers got married to the wrong people and had a bunch of kids. But far as in the game, we were so far behind. That's why our Black men couldn't get jobs. That's why they became alcoholics. That's why they kept, because we was but way so far behind in the game. Shit, we started way in the back. We still ain't catch up. We still ain't catch up. It ain't like modern women now want to do this. We've been doing it. We've been doing it. Is this the right one? I don't know.
Contributions. The beauty of her life is so inspiring.
education and a gun. Those was a violation.
Money. She worked and saved until she was.
She decided at age 16, decided to attend Tuskegee because she by this age, she was wanting more and more out of her life.
Slaves and their descendants have lived and been buried here for more than 150 years. Still, Lizzie, as she was called when she lived here, was fortunate. Her father had regular work as a carpenter. He most likely helped construct the beautiful churches and large homes for the wealthy in town. He also built a 3-room house on land he owned for Lizzie and her full siblings, and a separate house for the family of his second wife, Mary. Mary's house and the house belonging to Lizzie's mother, Virginia, stood side by side. Virginia was full-blooded Cherokee. Lizzie's stepmother cared for Wesley's many children from both women. Outsiders thought they were one family. Wesley Wright was described as tall and stout. Lizzie may have inherited her father's physique, but not his robust health. She lived a life plagued by debilitating stomach problems. The ability to read and write rerouted Lizzie's future when a flyer from Alabama inspired her to attend college in Tuskegee. She wanted to leave immediately, but didn't have any money.
Wow. Women back then didn't know how to read or write, and they wanted to go to school. My. Okay. Mhm.
She worked and saved until she was 16, then took a train and stepped off into a completely different world.
She didn't want to be a housewife?
These Black people didn't behave like any she had ever seen.
For the most part, they wanted an education and they were very serious about their studies.
Lanice Middleton.
They wanted an education. They were serious about their studies. I didn't hear nothing about waiting to get no husband and having a bunch of babies. But let's go.
Is an 82-year-old author who lived on the Tuskegee campus as a child.
The students wore the uniforms for the line of march, and they had on dark, I believe those were navy blue skirts or black skirts with white blouses, and they had little bows that went across the top. And they were required to go to chapel, and the ladies sat on one side, the gentlemen sat on the other.
Booker T. Washington and 2 of the women he married played an important part in Lizzie's new outlook on life.
I was at Tuskegee only a short time before I made up my mind to try and be the same type of woman as Mr. Washington was of a man.
But getting an education didn't go as smoothly as Lizzie planned. Students did a lot of hard work.
Originally, it started out with about a $50 expense, of which a student was expected to pay at least $8.50. $8.50 of that expense and try to work it off.
Records show that at first, Lizzie worked in the cafeteria. She was expected to arrive at 6 a.m., then eat when the other students left. She attended academic classes at night. The grueling schedule broke her already fragile health. Still, she managed to impress someone who had the power to improve her life.
It's obvious that she did, strike the fancy of Olivia Davidson.
That's Booker T. Washington's second wife. In a letter, he said, if it wasn't for Olivia Davidson, Tuskegee would not exist. She had a variety of positions. Primarily, she was like the assistant principal of the school. Maybe she saw something in Lizzie that others didn't see, that she was a hard worker. And both Washingtons, Olivia Davidson And Booker T admired that in people, that they were hard workers, they were dependable. All that came into play.
Olivia changed Lizzie's workload. Lizzie's new duties included managerial responsibilities and possibly close contact with the Washingtons.
There's a good chance that she did work for the Washingtons in their home. The Washingtons entertained a lot of people. The Washingtons were interested in using the students that were most capable. Because of what Lizzie was able to accomplish at Voorhees, I think that's indicative of what she was doing here at Tuskegee and probably the impact that she made here as a student.
Olivia also introduced Lizzie to a man who became an advisor and lifelong supporter. Massachusetts-based District Court Judge George Washington Kelly paid for all of Lizzie's classes. But neither Judge Kelly's financial support nor her lightened work schedule changed Lizzie's severe health problems. She became too ill to make it through her senior year and had to leave the Tuskegee campus, but not the Tuskegee Support Network. Olivia Davidson Washington provided her a safety net in the form of another wealthy benefactor, Almira Steele. Almira was a former elementary school principal from Massachusetts. Her father and deceased husband left her inheritance money that made her very, very wealthy. She used it to move south and start schools for Black people.
She built maybe 11 schools in the South. They were burned because the Ku Klux Klan would follow her around. And whenever she started a school, they made plans to burn it down.
Almira stopped building schools after the Ku Klux Klan burned down the one in McNeil, South Carolina. She fled to Tennessee and took Lizzie and the other teachers with her. The KKK torching did not intimidate Lizzie. It lit a fire in her heart and inspired her to finish her Tuskegee degree. By then, there was a new Mrs. Booker T. Washington. Olivia died in 1889 and never got to see Lizzie graduate. Margaret Murray, the third woman to marry Booker T, was her own type of powerhouse who also liked Lizzie. The two stayed in contact after Lizzie graduated in 1894. Lizzie headed straight back to South Carolina and spent the next 3 years being literally burned out or run off 10 potential school locations. The brutality she endured is still remembered in some of those communities several generations later.
This lady came on the train. They said she got out, got off the train, got all that she was walking with her suitcase and all of her schooling things that she needed. And as you know, there was a law against African American having education and a gun. Those was a violation. And they say that this group of white men seen her, so they asked her where was she going, and she told them that she was coming up this way to start a school. And they say that they got all of her manuscripts scattered all over and almost beat her out of her dress.
I noticed that she had tried to set up a school in this area, the Govan area, after traveling from Hampton side, trying to set up a school there. And the whites wouldn't let her. They ran her out of the community.
Now, this is a woman. Again, she's been beat, abused, sick, worked hard. She didn't have no protection. There were no men behind her, right? It's women helping women. No, there's no man behind her. But she wanted to promote education, not having babies and her husband. Promote education The one thing we were so far behind with. Right? That's how important education is. Don't let these people in 2024 tell you, oh, your education don't mean nothing. It means everything. It means everything. And it has nothing to do with, oh, because you smart and, I mean, I still got to be, we so sick of hearing, but you got to be a man. No, two people having an education was good for the people, right? It was good for the people. As you see, even with Booker T, he had his wives, and they were educated. They ran the school. They got ish done. Ain't nobody sitting home making a bunch of damn babies. And it's in the 1800s. And this lady never gave up. That's why I don't know if you guys heard of her, but of course I'm introduced you to her. But again, her name is Elizabeth Evelyn Wright. Right? Elizabeth Evelyn Wright. They were not, for people that were so far behind, who's never read a book, never had education. There's no way they're going to push a traditional anything, because the man nor the woman had education. What was they supposed to do? What was they going to do? They ran out of, left the South, started spreading out different places just to find work. It still wasn't easy. As you see, every time they made a school for Black people, because it was so important, they burned it down. Nobody could take the knowledge away from you that you receive from your education. Exactly. Exactly. Don't worry, after this is done, I don't even want to talk too much during this, right? And these are the stories I enjoy, right? These are the stories that I like. How, regardless of what we push for the better of our people. That's why I do what I do. I push and push and push and push for the better of our people. You cannot lose if we're educated or we're not, but that we're not on the corners selling each other poison and taking each other out. Everybody ain't gonna make it, but the way they got it now, I'm disgusted. I don't know why we all are not disgusted with these people they put in here to keep dividing us. Why are we not disgusted? Why are we not disgusted with these women who sit there and make all of this money? They're making their bank, right? The Niveas, what is her name? Rivas. It's a couple of other ones. They're making their money, but they're telling you not to make your money and sit back and be a housewife. But they're on here every day going through everything a woman do to blast a woman because she get paid to do it. That is her job. Her job is to get paid to blast women. And then you got the men, their job, they get paid to not only blast women, but to embarrass Black women, to degrade Black women. That is their job. Then you have the job of the feminists. Now, I'm not going to say feminist because we need it. Whether they Black men like it or not, you need a feminism for you to grow, right? Because the Black women go out and vote. Once we was able to vote, who do you think we was voting for? Dummies, right? But their job is to turn you away from the man. So that's the new thing now. Let them keep destroying each other. Let them keep destroying each other. We don't have nothing to do. That's why I appreciate all my ancestors. And I'm not going to let anybody sit up there and talk about you Americans and your black folks this and your black folks lazy. Your black no, you ain't talking about the American blacks. I would not support you. I have that much respect for my forefathers. I will not tolerate it. I don't care whom you are. We listen to these stories and then we let people turn around and disrespect them. And it wasn't for them, it'll be no us. I'm not trying to hear nothing. I want to carry on what they have started or what they tried to start, because we know we don't have to do the revolutionary thing anymore, because all of them things have taken place. They ain't gonna let it happen again. It ain't gonna happen. They're not gonna let history repeat itself. You don't see none of these kids looking at what's going on in the world and saying, hey, I put myself out there. No, they're not. That was done already. That was done. If you got some of the women that want to stay home and bake pies, so be it. Go on and bake your pies. But don't knock the women who want to move us forward as a people. You cannot move forward as a people just as the black man. You cannot do it. Because if you was for to make it, you still have to hire black women, right? You ain't gonna just hire men. You still need women for the job, and women who are capable of doing the job. It may not be your wife, but women still have to get themselves in position to work. Because you're not going to be a black man. The only people you're going to hire are black men. No, sorry. Even a Caucasian man, even if the woman was just a secretary. And the white women they used to sit up there and give their ideas to the men, to the Caucasian men, and they'll steal the ideas of the women and make it seem like it was their idea. But they still had to hire women. You still have to hire women regardless of how you put it. You have to hire women. You just can't just have jobs just with men working. Unless, y'all men want to be secretaries, go right ahead. Y'all men want to answer phones and be secretaries and be on a typewriter, go right ahead. You could do it. But not now, because we're in another age. We're in another age now.
And that's when she came to the Govan area and tried to set up a school here in our area. And the whites ran her from here. And she went on to Denmark.
Lizzie's health problems also flared up in Hampton County, South Carolina. Gastritis made her so sick that Elmira sent her to the sanatorium in Battle Creek, Michigan, run by Dr. John Kellogg, one of the most recognized physicians in the country.
That's when Dr. John Harvey Kellogg gave her a diet and gave her exercises and so forth. Kellogg had everybody there. Kellogg had the president of the United States. He had Ford. He had all kinds of people would come down to his Battle Creek Sanitarium to get rest.
Lizzie spent 2 months under Dr. Kellogg's care. During that time, Jessie Dorsey ran Lizzie's school.
Jessie actually carried on the work for about 2 months while she was gone. Then when she came back, they both worked together.
She was a trained health worker that Elmira had sent to Lizzie as a private nurse and co-educator. Elmira met Jessie at Battle Creek, where she had studied for 3 years under Dr. Kellogg. In South Carolina, Jessie became Lizzie's closest friend. In 1897, they were forced out of Hampton County and started a one-room school in Govan. Early in the year, Lizzie walked 8 miles from Govan to Denmark, South Carolina, to meet an attorney and state senator named Stanwix Mayfield. It was a milestone in her life and the people she would soon be able to educate. But it didn't start off well. In Mayfield's mind, Lizzie was only qualified to teach in Orangeburg at what is now South Carolina State University. She didn't want to do that and told him so, bluntly.
Thanks, but I'm not seeking a job for myself. I want to build an industrial school in which to teach poor boys and girls of my race to lead useful lives.
Mayfield issued a challenge to her. He promised to help Lizzie start a school if she brought him a written recommendation from Booker T. Washington. She did. Elmira also paid Mayfield a visit, and he kept his word. When Lizzie and Jesse reached Denmark, Lizzie fast-tracked her school by getting German immigrant Maria Sontag to rent her the second story of this building in 1897. They used painted sheets for blackboards, and younger students had to sit on the floor.
Wow.
14 people registered. But in this place in April that year, Lizzie started her school. Now all she had to do was pay for the land, located behind Rome Baptist Church. Mayfield allowed her to do so on very lenient terms. She visited 33 different Black churches to raise $184.54 so she could pay the $200 deposit.
Wow.
Then she began to work on turning the 2 shacks and 1 rundown mansion on the property into classrooms. That was going to take time. She filled some of it by continuing to teach a small group on the 2nd floor of Sontag's building until about June. It's here the story of Lizzie Wright ends.
All of our records record her as Lizzie up until after she has graduated.
But the story of Elizabeth Evelyn Wright, founder of the Denmark Industrial and Normal School, just gets started.
The reason that Lizzie probably changed her name to Elizabeth is because Lizzie is a child's name.
That taking on starting a school needed a formal or appropriate name. Lizzie is remnants of slavery. Elizabeth is a more proper name for a teacher.
There was no support from the state. Elizabeth and Jesse had to make do to make it work. Students cooked, cleaned, and farmed, just like Elizabeth and her classmates had done at Tuskegee. Lizzie had her school, but she wanted more.
She wanted land. She wanted an area that could demonstrate what could be done. It wasn't something that you could look at right away and say, whoa, that's going someplace. No, but she showed that it could be done, and it could be done in her backyard, and it could be done by her as a Black woman.
She wanted to expand. The meager donations from local Black churches didn't cover that. The money barely covered operating expenses.
Elizabeth walked trying to raise money to build the school. And she went about different churches collecting sometimes 2 pennies,
Wow.
3 pennies, 45 cents, or whatever.
Wow. Hey, Martin.
For anything else, Elizabeth traveled north a lot. At the same time, Elizabeth had adamantly rejected receiving large donations that had strings attached. Dr. John Kellogg offered to pay for the school if Elizabeth affiliated it totally with the Seventh-day Adventist. She refused his offer.
I don't think that Elizabeth Evelyn Wright refused financial support from John Harvey Kellogg because he was a Seventh-day Adventist. She didn't want any religious principles or anyone telling her what to do or how to run the school.
It's true. Jesse Dorsey, Elmira Steele, and Dr. Kellogg were Adventists, but Elizabeth faithfully followed more traditional beliefs. She was crushed when a local Black pastor falsely denounced her as not being a true Christian.
Adventism was competition for other denominations. So this pastor saw Adventism as a foreign outside element that was trying to take his flock, as it were. So he was opposed to Adventism.
The Reverend Samuel Rice eventually had to realize that the only dogmas Elizabeth recognized were those taught at Tuskegee University by Booker T. and Margaret Murray Washington. That made her practical. She knew who would employ her students, what jobs would be available to them, and what skills would and would not be tolerated by Southern white people at the beginning of the 20th century.
They were very careful at that time with the women to not just teach housework.
See?
There might be some sewing, there might be some knitting taught. There certainly was reading, writing, arithmetic. But what they didn't want was to emulate what the slaves had been.
Thank you.
The house slaves.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you know how to make a bed. You know how to, cook a meal. It had to be more. And the more included that land, that agricultural demonstration, that industrial demonstration from carpentry to really sort of minor architecture.
Now, she wanted the children down to the young women to learn. I keep telling y'all, they didn't want the young girls to go into, that's like slavery, going making beds again, cooking and cleaning and making beds and clean. They didn't want that. And this is what, again, with this new wave of AI, like she said, she knew what type of jobs that they're looking for, right? We're not doing that today. We are not doing that today. When AI starts taking a lot of these jobs, you see these people who have built up a big audience may still have their audience. The people that's following them, yeah, you bitter. Yeah, the woman this, the woman that. You may not have a job. It has always been best to have a 2-income family. It has always benefited us because we are so far behind, right? We were so far behind. So when a lot of the skills that we're learning now are not going to be no longer useful to us because AI is going to have a code for everything. A lot of things that people went to school for, AI can do in 5 minutes. They're going to say 8 years of school or 10 minutes of AI. So a lot of people, a lot of men are going to be losing their jobs. You should be strategizing right now. How do we both, like she said, what jobs are going to be out here? Them are the jobs you supposed to be, depending on your age, that's what you're supposed to be teaching the kids right now, right? These are the things, computer programming and learning how to do prompt and learning how to work these things. This is what you should be going towards. Not making no damn beds and having these babies. Why would you push that on us when you know the world is not going in that direction? The world is not going back to the traditional, as they say, quote unquote, direction. Why would you even do that? You don't even know when your sons, it's going to be so hard for your sons and your sons' sons to have jobs because you're not equipping them with what's to come. She was smart enough to say, hey, I've been around Booker T. Washington. I've been to Tuskegee. Let me teach these kids over here the skills, all the skills they need so they could get hired for these jobs, right? Hired for these jobs. And again, this is a woman by herself, which what we have been doing all along. But you're listening to these women, oh, gotta be the housewife and you gotta be feminine. Man, AI ain't gonna care if you feminine or not. How is the buying food, one bag of food, like I don't know why we all are not skinny, because it's so expensive now to go shopping for food itself. Rent is so freaking high. The prices are not going to come down. They're going to go up before they go down. Them little houses, depending on where you live and what community you live in, them little houses, they want $1 million and $2 million for them little bootleg houses. You would not believe, depending on where you live, how much them houses cost. Even in the worst, I'm not talking about in the good areas. I'm talking about in the regular old areas. You would not believe how much them houses cost. But we're not directing ourselves nor directing the youth for the jobs that we have to prepare them for. That's why I say it's a dishonor. But we already know they are plants, right? These people are plants. We're going to go through the damn plants. We're going to go through the plants. The ones that keep complaining about women all day, you are a plant. Because what's moving forward, baby, while you at work, and if that woman, even if she has to get her education, who's going to help the kids with their homework and stuff? You can't just keep her docile in the house. But the people who's telling us to be women, y'all, that's your job to do that. Y'all not doing it for free. Telling us what people think of us. Why would you want to keep kicking us? This world get ready to change. You want to keep kicking the black women down for what? You ain't going to, if some of them is overly sexual hype, you're not going to change them. You can try to change them, but shouldn't you be building? No, we don't need no goddamn classes telling us how to curse, how to sit with our finger like this and eat with this spoon. Nah, AI is here. You better teach them how to be on these computers, learn how to prompt. It's gotten to the point that AI is not like, even in your Google search, right? If you type in certain things, people gonna have to learn how to prompt their business, because AI is putting up what they want to put up first, right? They're putting up AI generated information first. And so you can have a real legit business, but it's going to be hard to find you. It's going to be hard to find you. Because AI has even changed Google search. So again, we're doing each other a disservice. I understand Like even like sometimes I may do videos on the bull crap. I still may do videos on the bull crap, and I am, but I'm not gonna always do that because you get the most views. That's the easiest thing. I can talk about Jaguar all goddamn day. I can talk about Diddy all day. But when them jobs come, that's not helping our kids. Right? Sometimes we gotta say, you know what? I'm gonna have to do something where I'm gonna get a nice lump sum of views. And some, it's okay. Whoever want to learn. Because now you get to take this back to your community and say, hey, this is what's going on. Let me look up the jobs. So these kids, so you can bring it back to your community, to your kids, your grandkids. You need to be showing them which way to go. We could do Gene Deal. We could do all of them all damn day, which I am. I didn't forget to cover them. I am, but you have to have a balance. You have to have a damn balance. What's going on today, baby? 10 years is gonna be a lot different. And a lot of people want to create music. Shit, AI is doing your damn music. You don't have to pay for a producer no more. You have to pay for an engineer no more.
Elizabeth's wise decisions meant her school continued to attract record numbers of students. By 1900, she had 2 other Tuskegee graduates teaching with her in Denmark. One was Martin A. Menifee. The school hired him as a stenographer, but soon made him its treasurer. It was Menifee's letter-writing persistence that linked Elizabeth to the school's most important benefactor, Ralph Voorhees. Menifee urged Elizabeth to travel and meet the blind philanthropist in New Jersey. The two liked each other immediately. What was booked as a 10-minute face-to-face session lasted much longer. Elizabeth just 280 acres of land she wanted to buy from a white dentist named Dr. S.D.M. Guess. The asking price was $3,000. Voorhees offered to donate the full amount. But the deal hit a snag because Dr. Guess suddenly refused to sell unless he was paid $4,500.
The effects of the Civil War were still within his frame of mind and of thinking. And he decided to raise the amount of money that he had previously asked Elizabeth Evan Wright for, because he knew that she was obtaining the money from a northerner.
Elizabeth fretted and delayed explaining the problem to Voorhees, but he solved it quickly with a $5,000 donation.
Ooh.
That paid for the land. Elizabeth applied the remaining $500 to the construction of the school's first building. Her students built what a Tuskegee architect designed. Her school flourished, and she used her board of directors to showcase diversity in ways that could shame major institutions in the 21st century.
Wow.
Some of her wealthier board members paid for the water tower, utility installation, even teacher salaries.
I think she decided to mix those people together just to get a wide variety of people that would encompass her ideas on education and what she was trying to do, because this had never been done before, not in the fashion that she had done.
Now, this black woman, y'all want to give a black woman no props? She took a lot of black men with her. Wasn't for her. She done took some black men with her. She got that money up. Y'all still don't want to give them no. Y'all still want us to have babies? Wasn't for this school. This school is probably still here today. She was making school after school, getting burnt down and getting burnt down. Girl, Jackie, why you starting problems? Because you know me and them computers don't get along. So I'm gonna be having problems too. I'm gonna be having problems. Well, let's go.
Voorhees declined an offer to sit on the school's board. He also never set foot on the campus. Ralph Voorhees, his wife, and Elizabeth developed a lasting friendship. She changed the name of the school to honor his support. He continued to make large donations to the college until his death in 1907. His wife also made major contributions. Elizabeth's leadership and ability to surround herself with influential people made the school prosper. Her personal life did as well.
She also made a school for boys. This one woman is responsible for educating a lot of black youth, boys and girls, not just boys, but again, that's the strong black woman y'all don't like, who don't take no for an answer.
She and Menifee married in June 1906 and lived in a house on campus called The Oaks. A month later, Elizabeth was in so much pain that Elmira paid for her return to Battle Creek for a third and last time.
Oh.
In 1906, they tried to find a local doctor to help her. Then they took her to, I think, Augusta, Georgia, to the hospital there. And then finally, Elmira Steele said, let's send her to Dr. John Harvey Kellogg.
Early in December, she wrote to tell her husband that she was feeling better and expected to come home. But that didn't happen.
Oh.
The founder of Voorhees College died in Battle Creek, Michigan, on an operating table, December 14th, 1906. But this is not the end of a sad story. Elizabeth Evelyn Wright passed away knowing three things. She had lived a life of purpose.
Yes.
She made decisions forged in faith. And she had found love.
Yes.
Few people outside the state of South Carolina know about Elizabeth Evelyn Wright because she died before her 35th birthday. She didn't get a chance to see Voorhees College expand to Voorhees University. She didn't get a chance to train a successor, and she didn't get a chance to cultivate her own legacy. But we are here 125 years later because what she founded was so structurally sound, and it continues to uplift and impact the lives of students who benefit from her vision. The world lost the leader when Elizabeth Evelyn Wright died. However, we should all be grateful that she used the few years she had to show us just what it takes to achieve the next level of excellence.
Woo! And that college still exists. Voorhees College still exists. Oh, man, she was 35. She did all of that. It was 35 when she passed. She done got her. Soon as she got her man. She finally got her man and stuff. She got sick again. I mean, they did that. That's an incredible. All these women that I put here is to me it is incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's just touched my heart, right? Because it's not because of a woman did it. It's because she saw a need. She saw a need in her community and say, hey, these black youth need an education. So she went, sick as she was, always sick, worked hard, paid for school, went out and got money so she could bring the education back to these. Do you know where a lot of these black kids would be if she didn't do that? All these women, from the Black Panthers, from all the things that they can do, like we can do something. My God, I'm just so, and they college still exists today. They said the way she lined it up will put the way things are done today to shame.
Right.
Oh, I'm so touched. Not because of her, but because of what came out of her. Like a lot of educated, more youth. They didn't have to be more educated. She saw a need. That's why I tell women, don't let, like, if you see a need for something, don't let nobody tell you what you're supposed to do and traditional wife. But nah, if you see a need in your community, that's like I don't let nobody tell me nothing. I see a need. But you can go ahead and throughout all the different 3 different videos or whatever, you could just say how you feel about each one or whatever you want to talk about, girl.
This lady, Elizabeth, Lizzie, lived a short life, but she accomplished so much. And that is a testament of the strength of a Black woman. No matter what our plight is, we're going to accomplish what we accomplish because that's what God did for us. He gave us that strength, And I'm glad that I'm learning about this woman. I did not even know anything about her. So thank you for educating me and us on this topic.
I'm just I'm just like speechless. Like that. Well, I usually do this on my Sugar Babes channel, but I gotta get back on it. I like to keep, like, each channel does different things. I've just been lazy. I've been putting it all on this channel, but this usually I got stuff like this on the other channel. Tell them, Jack, we go to school over here. We go to school. God damn, we go to school, right? And then I'm probably gonna play another one of her, not right now, to get like so we can hit more story, because it's the fact that they wasn't asking, she saw a need and she had to go out. Like the community did not support her. Right? There was no men that supported her. Right? She did that alone. Right? And imagine she had to pay like $5 or $6 or something like that. She couldn't even get that. Like churches, big behind churches was giving her 2 cents.
She needed 200. She raised $184. And I guess maybe she had the rest, or she had to just wait till she scraped up some more. But yeah, that 2 cents was off the chain.
Yeah, you go into a whole entire church, and because, again, just like today, it's just a shame. Just like today, you want to do something for the people, church don't support you.
Nope.
They don't. I've never really seen a time, I'm not saying that they don't, but I never seen where they give back to the community like that. Unless it's like the other one said, you have to be a Seventh-day Adventist. Like she was like, nah, like give to the community. Like you don't see that. But so she had to I mean, thank goodness, whatever they liked to her, and that's what I look for.
Yes.
Too. Which a lot of them don't know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that, like that go getter, right? That go getter,
right?
Right, but
as soon as they said Dr. Kellogg, I said, "Oh damn, no, Lizzie, run, Lizzie, run!"
Well, she did. Actually, she did okay with him, right? She did
No, she
okay.
did
She
okay with him. I was just talking about him in general, but she did
Uh
good.
huh.
And on top of that, she was able to make the connection she needed to make.
Right, right. So God brought her there for a reason, I guess, right? But damn, you would be thinking that woman got me tired. You'd have been at least thinking she was 40, 50, right? All
Baby,
that
listen,
running and shit she did.
30, right,
I was that
in the
lady had
30s.
me tired. That lady had me tired. Like, she done did a lot in 35 years. So she got a little husband or whatever.
Well, at least she did get to experience love, after all of her hard work, she got, experience that beautiful thing.
And she still could have had babies, but
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what the problem she had with her stomach or whatever, right? But she's like they said, she had it since she was young, and that still ain't stop her. And you didn't see none of her you didn't see none of the siblings come and help her, and none of that other. She did that dolo. She's like, bye. I want to. I want to see better for this community.
She had her first black trade school.
What you say? Because that rain
I
or
said she
something
had her
falling down.
first. I said she had her first black trade school.
Let's go to see something for a second. Let's give us some more love, right? Let me see. Let's see how this school still exists today. Warris Cottage. Let's just give her. Just want to show y'all. Did I click it off? Just want to show you. This was like 100, like I said, 125 years ago, correct?
You going in and out. What did you say?
I said they said it's about 125 years ago, right?
Right.
And here it is. Still here today. Juarez University. Still here. Look at this.
Beautiful.
And this is uploaded 22. They get on my nerves with this shit. Man, we have firecrackers all the damn time. Look at that. Look at that.
So
Look
beautiful.
At that.
And tell the history behind it now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they got the tigers. They got her picture there. Wow.
Would this be considered a HBCU?
I don't know. No, it's private. She made it private. I read that in the when I was looking for. Let me go back so y'all can see what it says. It's a wait. It's the college and university. Let me make sure I got the right one. Okay, college. Right. It's a co-ed college, liberal arts university, United Negro College. Let me see. That's a different one. I think it said it's a private. Oh, let me scroll back. Okay. Founded in 1897 by Elizabeth Evelyn, who was barely older than some of her students today. That's a damn shame. Right. But I believe it's private. It's not a HB. It's not a HBUC. Right. You go online. It's a 4-year co-educational, right? Hopefully they still have excellence there. They still, she does psychology, child development, sports and fitness, business administration, and biology and biological sciences. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. And this is what it, and look at this. They got little, they really, they got a little basketball team. Go Tigers, go Tigers. And to
Go
just
Tiger.
to know what this woman had to even go through to get this just to have that vision. It's private, but it's an HBCU. Oh, okay. One of the smaller ones, well, 125 years ago, yeah. But whoa, to know that, like she said, some of the students in there is older than her. To think that a young girl, they all go in there, at their age, she was getting money to build the freaking college. They go in there 18, 19, 20, right? By that time, she done had church schools that was burned down. Remember,
Right.
they kept burning down the schools. The
Yeah.
KKK people was burning down the schools when the other lady like,
They
yeah,
was
we could do
following
this.
her.
Mm-hmm. Her and the other lady following her, burning down, and she still never gave up. So you want to tell me I'm supposed to hear stories like this and stay baking bread and pumping out babies? And where you see, you didn't hear that man who she fell in love with say, "Oh, you got more education than me." We didn't hear that
No,
shit.
nope.
We didn't hear that. Oh, you too busy. I'm a man. That man got with the program.
He sure did.
Because when we work together, the same way when W.E. Du Bois, not W. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I tell people all the time. It's good when you get along, but when you have a mission, all of us don't have to get along. As long as we about the same mission, that's all that count.
Absolutely.
Now, when we look at uh I believe they only have 425 students today. I think I clicked it off, but it's good to look at. It's good to look at. Now these would be our ops, right? Black women are right. It's going. The reason why black women, how they say black women hit the wall. She was 35, 34, because she back to 35. She was 34 when she met Honey Bun. Did she hit the wall?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Right.
Now let's
What
see.
a beautiful testament to strength and resilience.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it may not be education, but the main part I liked about it is she said, listen, I've been rolling with these people. I got to know what to teach them because I know what type I know what they're looking
Yeah.
for, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Which we not seeming to get that memo today, right?
She
She
was a
foreseen,
She was a career forecaster.
he basically said the same thing at the
For her.
same time, right?
Mhm.
She foreseen. She said, "Hey, this is what they looking for. For them to get out there, I got to teach this."
Yes.
Now you got these ops, right? These are the people to make sure we don't grow as a people, right? So, we got Mr. Dennis Sperling, right? This is one of the guys that make sure, women this and women that. Hopefully I don't go into his live. I want to go into his page, right? Women playing the victim card, modern black women mothers. Guess who's mad at the Passport Brothers? Right?
Oh no.
This is the one who I had the part when they said to
Oh
take us black
yeah.
women. They said take us black women out. That was on his page. I gotta find that for you.
What?
Yes, right. And they even made it biblically why they should take us out, right? This is what we gotta see. The black manosphere reshaping politics. Legacy about who listen. Black men fighting against lion mother efforts. We all we got. Black male advocate. Ma'am, who's your daddy? Vivica Fox 60 is not sexy, right? That's just one of many. That's one of many. Japan begs black men see too much twerking, right? These are the ops. These are the ops. They get paid good money for this, right? And what's the other one I named? There's a couple of them now. I can't remember all of them. Let me just put in the red pill to see who comes up. Red pill. All right. Let's see who comes up. These are the ops. Now he's an okay guy. We got I heard of Jordan Peterson, but he's all right. Right? But these are all from the black men. You want to take on this, but they can say what they want about their Caucasian women. But the laws that's put in line was for people like the red pill, right? You're gonna take care of that Caucasian woman, right? You're gonna take care of them Caucasian babies if you're making money, right? Never date a single mother, right? She was a big op. Miss Karen over here. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. They rather sit up there and promote 4 kids. Even that's a land the street. But and then you know what's so crazy? I always hear well, you gotta keep your weight up, right? You never hear a man say, hey, that's like how they want you to build the man up. Do you know big girls can lose weight too? You do know that big women, could lose weight, right?
Right.
Hold on. Don't know. I ain't trying to well, we got Dennis, then we got We got the women. We got the women. We got like I said, Crimson, not so Crimson Tide, whatever that hyena name is. We got Neva, Riva, and they show her up and down to prove a point. I'm like, what is the point that you're proving? We're not getting anywhere as a people. And that's by design. That is by design.
Right.
We're not getting nowhere. You better show. Their job is to show all the negativity stuff so they can say, see, I told you. Instead of doing your job and building up the women that need to be builded, right? These men has gotten so bad that they couldn't even raise a daughter. They couldn't raise their own daughter. They had to go get another man's kid and marry her to raise her, right? That's how crazy shit is, but it is what it is. Right? Because you say you want to mold her, why you mold your own daughter? Why you mold a lot of their wives are younger than their kids. Oh, now all of a sudden you want to teach mold it. So they couldn't do it with their own daughter. They had to go marry another man's daughter and mold her. So would you get your second chance? Is this your second chance?
Squirreling looking Sasquatch. That's what Jackie said.
Oh no, I read it. I highlighted it. You can remove it, but I mean, we can still see it.
No, she said to read it so she can remember it. So
she
probably
said
when she's
remove.
listening to
No, she said read my comments so I can remove it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So I said she can't remove it on our end, but she could remove it. We in StreamYard. So StreamYard, you can remove it on the YouTube part, but you can't move it here. But it doesn't stay here anyway. People will only see it on there. You can remove it, but we still see it. But well, you need a second chance because you couldn't raise the first set of kids. So being I guess this one you get to mold them and have them do what you want and give them babies and do all this stuff. Now you get your second chance to be a dad. But that's all the fuck you is to these young girls. It's nothing but a damn dad. And for some of these men, you ain't even a dad. You a granddad. Look at Robert De Niro. And Al Chapino. They both wait till they 80 something. You a great granddaddy to them babies.
Great.
Oh God, you a great granddaddy. And I think one of them broke up with the girl.
Removed. That's what you are. 3 daddies removed.
I'm like, anytime you got grandkids older than your kids, then you stop the shit. Stop it. Y'all men can't get it right. But again, this is why us as a folks cannot prosper. And in their mind, they got to get us back under control. Okay, did we get us back under control? Then what? Because we're not building with you because you're supposed to be the provider.
Who's getting them under control?
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Let's just say we do get in control. Okay, what you got for us? What you got for us? What do you got? Being that we ain't got to work no more, right? Because we're under control. So you guys, you men got it like that. The way y'all doing all this talking, you got it like that. So what you got for us? Because we ain't building. Because you are the provider. So we ain't providing shit. Because we done got ourselves together and decided to submit. So now, can you fulfill your part of the bargain?
Right.
I mean, you got to have everything in order. I guess you got to keep going after the young girls then, right? Because And then I'm not gonna say I've never seen it, but it's not like publicized. Well, what they call it? What that guy called this girl? When guys chase chubby girls or fat girl, I forgot what they call them. It's a name for them too.
Chubby chaser.
A chubby chaser. I said, what the hell? But I'm like, you never see, like you see like a woman build a man up, but you would never see like a heavy set woman. They'll ever talk about her, but y'all don't know. Y'all can make her the trophy too. But y'all don't want to put no time in the woman. Y'all want it already there. What these type of women I look for. She could lose weight, Walk with her down the block and help her change her diet. Do
Meal
things
prep.
with her.
Meal prep.
She might look way better than who you thought you was going to pick. But we always tend to, as you see with her, have to do things by ourselves. We don't have that backbone. They want a backbone. We don't have one. And we talking about if you want all of this in a woman, be our backbone. We can be that. But what do you do? What do you do? Like I see that woman, they keep popping out them babies. I know why. Because you ain't got shit else to fucking do. Because once them kids get grown, what you gonna do? Kids get grown fast.
Exactly.
It was just yesterday, my son was under 18. Hey, now he grown. It was like just yesterday. I'm like, well, damn, where did all the struggling go? Like all the struggling just went right away, right? I mean, you get a new set of problems when they get older, but all them tired nights is like, what happened? It just went right away. So they have to keep making babies because they have nothing else to do. Once you become an empty nester, what is there a woman to do? Now she ain't got to cook for a family no more. She just got you. Well, what is there to do? What is there to do? It's not enough cleaning the house in the world.
Exactly.
And then after that, your ass probably retire or whatever. Now she got to take care of you. Like, what is there to do? Let's say you still nice and young yourself because you started out having kids early. So that means you're going to be an empty nester early. So if you started having it at 16, 18, 19, shit, you be 40 something. The kids are grown out. You still in your 40s. So what does a 40-year-old woman do? What does she do? What does she do now? Oh, wait for the grandkids? I don't know. But what is for her to do? All her dreams, she still got dreams, but she's scared to speak her dreams, right? Because she still have a lot of life left. Anytime that 70-something-year-old lady go back to college and become a nurse, we got no excuse.
Nope.
So in that case, I gotta have like 8 kids so they can keep coming, so I can keep having something to do. Right? I gotta keep having something to do. That's just like that lady. I don't know. She got a IG channel. They be trying to go after her or whatever. I just don't like her because she don't smile and all that acting like she happy cooking. And she got kids all around her, kid wrapped around her. But she shows how she makes everything like fresh and stuff, fresh cheese and fresh. So I'm like, that don't mean your kid's gonna do that, right?
Right.
That don't mean you're gonna have the best kids ever because you make them like fresh food. Like, wow, I want to make fresh food too. God bless them. God bless them. I'm too old to tack up. Aw. I'm gonna keep you in my prayers, my faithy faith. I'm gonna keep you in my prayers. And she was hit by the hurricane or tornado, and her whole house got messed up. And I'm going to put up once I get it a GoFundMe for her. Once I have the pictures, but I don't know how to transfer it. But once she sent it to me and send the pictures and stuff to my email, but I guess it's on her GoFundMe or whatever. But yeah, when that tornado hit out there in Louisiana, she got hit really bad, right? That type of stuff happens. But now they got to stay in like in a hotel or whatever. But I would definitely put that information up for you guys, and don't forget, we are going towards the end of the month, right? I got to check out who is the members so I can get these prizes out. And I guess that's just about it. I guess we're going to hit them YouTube streets, but hopefully y'all enjoyed this woman power to show you that it's no them.
It was very great.
Us. It's a we thing. It's a we thing. It ain't no, I'm the man. Know your role. No, it was a we thing. And even till today, it's a we thing. Because we may not like none of this music, but them young ladies are bringing in money. They are bringing in money. We ain't got to like them. We ain't got to like their music. But hip-hop was falling. It was falling. Them women stepped up. May not be nothing we like, but they're keeping the hip-hop going.
Yeah, they are.
They stepped up.
Because a lot of these young people can relate. These young ladies can relate because they grew up in families like that. They grew up in environments like that. So they can relate.
Yeah, they could relate. And then on top of that, the men you didn't hear too much of the men artists because they was going to jail, having hell of jail, right? And it kind of tanked. So all you started seeing was women. That's all you started to see. Now I got my fingers crossed on my girl Scarface, right? I am so feeling Scarface. I love me some Scarlet. I love me some Scarlet. She's really raw. I like that rawness, right? Right. Then she's down to the thing. Mama, stay on the world neck. Oh, I love you, boy, Faith. But don't forget to get me that information. So we're going to hear a couple of songs before we go. I got writer's block, but don't worry, guys. I'm going to get out of it.
Praying for your writer's block.
Shut up.
Life is a journey.
I was serious.
Stumble and fall.
I know.
No matter how big or small, they've seen your setbacks, but it's about to come back. Feels like the end, but it's
have a blessed
just
night,
a
everyone.
jump start.
Thank you for joining us.
Times may knock you down, that's a fact, but you rise like a phoenix from the ashes, back on track. Never give up, keep pushing through the pain. You're stronger than you know. Break the chains. This is the comeback. Rise up from fall, stand tall, show 'em all. No matter what they say, you can't be shaken. It's your time to shine. No more faking. No more faking. You'd have been kind, you'd have been sweet, but you were cold as ice and left me incomplete. I gave you my all, but it wasn't enough. You took my love for granted and called it tough love. You should have been more nice to me. Should have treated me with dignity.
And yes, I wrote that.
It's very beautiful.
Now moving on, taking control. You played your role. There's no one like me. Look in the mirror, I'm all I see. Can't be nobody else, just gotta be me. I don't pretend, I can't pretend. What you get is what you see. I love all me, that's all I can be. Just me. No imitations, no faking, just my own creation. Originality in all my steps, no need for complication. I shine bright, no need for any embellishment. I love all of me, that's my only sentiment. I'm just me, can't be nobody else but me. The world can try to change me, but I'll always be free. I love all of me, my uniqueness is the key. No one else can be me, just me. Just me. No imitations, no faking, just my own creation. Originality in all my steps, no need for complication. I shine bright, no need for any embellishment. I love all of me, that's my only sentiment. I'm just me, can't be nobody else but me. The world can try to change me, but I'll always be free. I love all of me, my uniqueness is the key. No one else can be me, just me. In the land of real, there's a love that's true. Sugar love is her name, spreading sweetness too. Her voice like velvet, smooth as a summer breeze. A podcast, a soundtrack to everybody's ears. Sugar love, she's the queen of soul. Ooh, yeah. A podcast, the place where the stories unfold. Ooh, yeah. News and entertainment with a touch so sweet. She's the heartbeat of the community's beat. She brings the news with flavor like a cup of hot tea. Uncovering stories, bringing light to what we see. With her infectious laughter, she uplifts every soul. Sugar love, she's the one who makes us feel whole. She's the one who makes us feel whole. In the land of real, there's a love that's true. Sugar love is her name, spreading sweet